The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer with sports talk and a whole lot more. Episode number 367 on this 22nd day of January 2024. Tonight's show, as always, brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and saves out $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Sports, the network media group. I messed that one up. Hey, Dave, go to bellyupsports.com for all their great sports articles and other great podcasts are over there at bellyupsports.com. And thank you to everybody who's listened to the show, whether it be in podcast form or over there. The clips up on YouTube on a daily basis, but a lot of stuff up there. Thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you go there and subscribe today and see our smiling faces over there at YouTube at 1420 Sports. Dave, you know, one of these, you never like to see your spouse go away. You like to see her come back, obviously, but if she was going to go away any weekend, this one actually worked out pretty well for the sports fan and me because, man, oh man, there was a lot going on, not just on football. We'll get into that on later, a little like really quickly here. But there was hockey games that I watched. I watched some old baseball games. I actually watched some college basketball for the first time in a long time this weekend. The tavern, she was a busy viewing spot, and I kept her low. Just
hockey day in Canada,
the whole thing. It was great. I kept her low, kept her easy by myself. I got to relax, like not worry about anything else. I just sat here, watched sports all weekend, drank some beers, and it was great. It was a good weekend, man.
I'm glad you had a good weekend. I texted you the other day how Bachelorhood's going, and you mentioned you were doing good and didn't need any help. And so I myself too had a good one. I curled on Saturday afternoon and it was perfect. We took care of the team early, so we got upstairs and I only missed 5 minutes of that Houston Baltimore game and was able to watch till halftime, have a couple pops, come home, and then watch football again all afternoon. And then even I watched the third period of Oilers Flames. So I too enjoyed my sports day on Saturday there.
Yeah, it was it's the first time since we moved into the new shack here is that I've had one of these days where I could turn the TVs on and games here, games there, and go in and out of things. Oh, it was nice. And then I got a little bit into her, a little bit, not much, a little bit into her on Saturday, about the third quarter of the Green Bay game, and I put on some tunes and turned it up to about six, not 10 or anything else. No, it was a nice little weekend. But it was great to get Deanne back home. Yes, I went and picked her up at the airport in last night, but it was good to have her back. Obviously, the place was not in shambles by any means, but no, it was I had a nice weekend.
Did you cook for yourself or did you order in?
Oh, I cooked. Yeah, I cooked.
But when you say cook, do you mean just from scratch or just like shit that you just put on a tray and throw in the oven for an hour and a half kind of thing?
A combination of the two.
Oh, okay. See, yeah.
There were some finger foods. There were some deli snacks. There was some sit down meals. A little bit of everything. Like I'm a big breakfast guy. Even when the answer I bacon and eggs or bacon and sausage and eggs. Like I'm a big breakfast guy. So that was on the menu all weekend long. No, I'm Dave. As much as people don't believe it, I am a quasi grown up.
Well, we all pretend to be, right? Like sooner or later, you got to start acting your age. And I don't know what that is because I'm older than you. So who am I to point a finger, which I'm not. I got one more question. Were you wearing jeans or it was sweatpants all day Saturday?
Shorts. I'm a
shorts.
I'm a short guy.
Boy.
I'm shorts. Like I got shorts on right now. As soon as when I get home after work every day, and then there's on the door to come down to the basement, down to the tavern, there's a hanger there. My jeans go up there, and I put shorts on.
You gear down right there before you.
I don't go to the room. It's just in the door, shorts, done.
The tavern is pants optional.
Well, for some guests maybe, but whatever. So I wouldn't like if you were to come down, you had a pair of shorts on the wall, like maybe like when we start doing this face to face again, you want to leave a pair of shorts here, like you had your slippers at the old place. You could do that and have your shorts hanging there. Walk in, shorts done. See you later. No, the temperature is always about 75 degrees down here, so no, she's good. No, it was I'm a shorts guy, man. I don't know.
Oh, I'm a sweatpants guy. Well, like our house just being older and like where my studio here down in the corner, it's a little bit chillier. So I'm sweatpants and a blanket. So it's a lot different.
Summertime?
Oh, no, not summertime. Summertime, well, I like sitting outside. Yeah. No, I'd go tarps off if I was confident enough to put that on the YouTube.
Yeah, if I had a physique, I might, but I don't. So,
yeah, you and me both. Right?
Like the funny thing about me and you, Dave, is fucking like Jesus Christ. Like we've been doing this for 3.5 years or whatever. We probably have the lessest physiques, or the least physiques, I guess. But I don't know what's the proper terminology there. Of every podcaster out there, like you and I have the arms of nothing.
Well, we're unassuming. I'm surprisingly strong. I got a good height.
I'm freakishly strong, actually.
Well, there we go. Like, so don't judge books by their covers. But yeah, also too, like I ain't. I'm in my 50s. I'm not.
And I ain't trying.
Yeah, I don't take my shirt off unless I'm going into the pool.
Yeah, I ain't buying tank tops. There's no getting around that. There's
which is funny because the generation, like Kaylee's dad, like in the summertime. That old fucker can't wait to get his shirt off.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she's rare when the tarp comes off for old Brent Radlinski. Rare.
Well, yeah, because I don't like back in the day in my 20s, I had it off all the time.
Like maybe a houseboat kind of a situation where I can jump in water. Involved. Yeah. But if I'm just hanging around like in the backyard, there's no way unless I shouldn't say never. It's rare.
It's rare. It's more comfortable. I don't want to get a sunburn.
Yeah.
I got a farmer's tan that'll just like blind you some summers. So, like it's ridiculous.
So I remember the old guy like my dad. He used to fucking like driving down the highway, window down, right? No air conditioning, window down, and hang our arm hanging out the window. That arm would be just tanned and burnt and everything else. There's that white.
The trucker tan, yeah.
Trucker tan, yeah. Anyways, Dave, like we were saying earlier on, what a weekend of sports it was. Like you said, Hockey Day in Canada. We'll get me that in the second segment today. But there was 3 really, really intriguing football games. One that was kind of turned out the way everybody kind of thought it was. We'll start with that one first. We don't want to blow our proverbial load right off the bat. But pretty much everybody knew that Baltimore was going to roll over to the Houston Texans. People were kind of conspiracy theory. Maybe because Lamar Jackson has not had great playoff success, but he basically said, shut it. Those were the past years. This is this year. And I think that's what people got to start to do in a lot of sports is like, don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the past. Let's look at what's happening right now. But Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens just went, let's just get this done. Let's finish them off early and often. And they did that.
Yeah, they didn't do it early and often because, as I mentioned, I left the curling club at halftime there, and it was 10-10. But then, like, teams with better coaches and talent that have been there before, that's when you make your adjustments. That's when you figure it out. And then Baltimore shortly, by the third quarter, that game was in hand, and Baltimore is a better team than Houston. Houston was one of the teams that was happy to be there to win their first game. And this is we'll see what happens with Houston next year. But that was Baltimore's game to win, and they did it. They did it handily, even though it was 10-10 at halftime.
That game was never in question.
I agree with you.
Never once, even like you see, even though it was 10-10, like I said earlier enough, even though it was 10-10, you got the Houston Texans always seem to be half a second away from disaster.
Yeah,
it's one of those games, right? It's just like you play against better teams. the better team usually wins.
Adrenaline can drag you for a little bit, but then, it's just like you got to be perfect every single play. And, and when the adrenaline and you're fresh, that can happen. But you can't be perfect every play, like when you're tired and now like you're not getting your time to rest on the bench. And better teams, that's what they do, right? Depth, execution, and talent. And in football more than anything, you're going to get exposed in the second half.
I'll stray away from the games a little bit, Dave, but I've thought that a lot in like more so in college football, but as well like NFL on the weekend. There was times when over the weekend and you go, don't score too quick, because you know what? There's a lot of clock left, and you're going to score eventually. Just gain 4 yards, gain 5 yards, and just wear this team down and just beat them up. And like, don't score, and leave that defense on the field. And I think that
wear them out. Yeah,
that used to be a thing a lot more a few years back. And now it's like all sports are different. Maybe I'm just the old man once again, get off my lawn, but I just think that doesn't happen nearly enough. Where when teams Baltimore or the Buffalo Bills kind of proved that last night, where they kind of fucked that whole thing up, but they could have probably got closer and everything else. But we'll get to that half a second. But I always find it odd that used to be a thing: run the clock, run the ball. But now with the lack of running backs, you don't see that nearly as much, in my opinion. Or maybe I'm just not paying attention as much.
No, sorry, finish your thought.
But I just think like sometimes teams they're too willing to score too soon. When you know what, if you just hold off, you're going to score, or you're going to get 3 in 3 minutes from now. Why throw a deep pass right now when you could go 3-3? Because I was listening on the radio on the way to Calgary last night that Kansas City at one point was averaging 4.5 yards per rush or something. Do that 2 or 3 times, because you know what? That's math. That's just math. You'll get a first down.
Yeah, 12 is bigger than 10, right?
And that's just simple math. Mm-hmm. Like that's even 10 Canadian, man.
10 Canadian yards, 12 Canadian yards, right?
12 Canadian, 12 and a half, 10 Canadian, 10 American.
No, I agree with you. And the game planning in the NFL it's different than any other sport, because you are setting the teams up. You do have a plan. Like, this isn't working now, but trust us, we keep doing this. We keep doing this in the third and fourth quarter. It's gonna work. And so you just have to be patient. You have to have belief in yourself. And then also too, you have to, like everything I've ever read, watched, heard about football, right? You got to be able to run the ball to pass. And if you can set up a play action pass, like that's the most, like if a team has to bite, and a team like the fucking Patriots forever, right? They never had a 1,000-yard back, but if you gave them rush yards, they'd take them. And a play action it would get a linebacker to bite, and then you would have people like Amendola and Stokely and Wes Welker and then Gronk, right? Like those crossing routes in the middle, 15-yard pass, 50 yards after the catch. Like you set up everything by being able to at least pretend you're going to run. And if you can run, then you're absolutely lethal. If you can run and pass, and then you're lethal. And Baltimore can do that all day. And if you blitz, you're fucked. Good quarterbacks don't fear the blitz.
No,
that means I got someone one-on-one. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've seen that throughout the week, and just a little dink and a dive and everything else. You're out of the way and go for another fucking 12 for 15 yards and see you later. Let's move on to the Green Bay San Francisco game. I remember because last Monday we had Aaron from Brutally Honest Sports on here. We were talking, and you guys said there is no way that San Francisco is going to lose that game to Green Bay. And it was entrenched in my ears. I haven't listened to that show or watch what we did there, because I rarely do. But I was thinking, I remember you guys saying there's no way. And I said, any given Sunday, you fucking NFL freaks always say any given Sunday, no matter what. And when it got to the end of the third quarter and Green Bay was up 21-14, I was finding the clip. I was finding it. to play for this moment right now. Turns out Green Bay didn't win the game, and so you were right. There was no way they were going to win, but I think the Green Bay Packers actually lost that game more than the Niners won that game.
I'll agree with that. Green Bay played well, and San Fran had to play from behind. San Fran did pull it out. A couple observations of that game. Like I'm surprised of what Shanahan is asking Brock Purdy to do. Like and then it was also pissing really bad. So like there was a lot of errant throws, and he was.
It's hard to put any stock into that game.
Yeah, exactly, because of the conditions, because it was raining so hard. But I'm surprised. Like the offensive system of San Francisco really, obviously they trust Brock Purdy because they put a fucking ton on that kid's shoulders, and he did what he could. He missed a lot of balls, but once again, I with the elements being what they were, I thought they would have relied a lot more on McCaffrey. And I get it, Deebo Samuel was hurt, but still, like I was surprised at that. I was surprised at how calm, cool, collective Green Bay was until that final drive where Jordan Love threw that interception to ice the game.
You look at it like Purdy wasn't great by any means, but when a push came to shove, he got the job done in the fourth quarter. He did. Like he did. And that's when it matters. Like you could have a shit night. Like if you go if you go 0 for 3 in a game when you hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth, no one cares about your 0 for 3. You're 1 for 4.
Yeah.
You're 1 for 4. Nobody gives a fuck about the other things. And that's what Purdy basically did, in my opinion. The thing about Green Bay, and another field goal this weekend, a kicker kind of blew it for him. Not kind of. Carlson missed that field goal, and that changed the game completely. Like, you had points on the board. You cannot leave points on the field when you have a chance, especially game 12. You can't leave points on the board. You can't. And the Green Bay Packers did. And it turned out to because that changes the way. Because when you don't, because all of a sudden it's a 2-score game instead of a 1-score game. Like, it's 7 points, 3 points. Like, it's math once again. Tonight we're doing a math special here at 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. But if you leave points on the board, not obviously at the end of the game, obviously, but if it changes the way you manage the game. And that's what Green Bay ended up doing, and it cost him. Because I thought Love was really good. Yeah, he threw, like you said, that Brett Favre interception late in the fourth quarter, and just one of those things. But I thought Love was really good.
Oh no, he's really good. And as a Green Bay fan, of course you're saddened that you didn't win that game because it was winnable. I think Green Bay was the better team that game. The ball didn't bounce that way. There was no skullduggery. There was no refs blowing the game for any reason. It just didn't fall Green Bay's way, and I think they were the better team. When we talk about kickers missing things, right? Like it's like the relief pitcher. The kicker is the relief pitcher, right? 12 saves in a row, 13 saves in a row, 50 kicks made in a row. But now this one we're in the playoffs, and now you give up that grand slam. Now you give up that home run. It happens to all of them. And and you know how many receivers have dropped passes, right? How many running backs
missed tackles,
missed tackles, right? It all happens, but you got one fucking job, man, and it's the most you get bugged. I don't know if they get bugged, but it seems like the most irrelevant position on the team.
We'll get into that about the locker room antics with kickers and everything else in half a second, Dave. But I can't remember what I was watching today or listening to, but basically, and somebody said kickers are like anthem singers, right? Nobody knows who they are until they screw something up.
Until they fuck up.
Yes, it's a different thing. And don't at me, everybody. Don't fucking get the kickers and anthem singers are different. Yes, one makes a lot of money. One's usually one usually is a volunteer or whatever it is. But until you don't know who sings the anthem. You don't.
Right.
Like I wouldn't know who Anders Carlson is and Tyler Bass is for the life of me. But they both missed huge field goals for their teams this weekend. That's the only reasons why their names made 14, 20 fucking logs today. I would have no idea who they are.
Yeah,
and it's a tough position. It
is. It's the add-on position, but you want the best, like that. Tucker for Baltimore.
Baltimore never misses.
Never misses. He's money.
Takes him from 70 yards out.
You bet. Give me a chance. If I'm in
I'll try it, whatever.
Yeah, he's Steph Curry with a leg, right? If I'm in the field, I'm in range.
I got thinking a little bit, and you call me stupid if you want, because you have before, and you will again. But if you were given 10 runs and got if you were a running back, if you were also 30 years younger, Dave, 24 years old, you would probably have a better chance of scoring a touchdown as a running back than kicking a 45-yard field goal. From that distance, and with the guys and guys rushing to kick you, because the placeholder, and you're going to time it perfectly, everything else, you'd have a better chance out of 10 tries. You'd have a better chance of scoring a touchdown as a running back in the NFL than you would kicking a field goal in a live game situation. Kicking's hard, man. Fuck.
Yeah, and 45 is a bit. Like I was a fairly competitive soccer player, and I could 45, even me at my peak powers. That would have been a stretch for me.
85,000 people screaming your name. People's lives are depending on you making that field goal. Fuck me, man. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't even pretend to say that I could do it. Not a chance. No way. My butthole would clench right up. There's no way I could make that field goal. I'd kick it backwards.
What about converts? Would you do the converts?
Back when it was only fucking 15 yards.
Not this 30-yard convert.
No, fuck no.
There's a lot of pressure, but then there's the same thing. I can't throw a 98-mile-an-hour slider, right? You got a fucking big fucking leg. There's the toothpick standing up there. Put it between them. Just do it. Then wait. Well, we'll get to that Buffalo game.
Okay, let's move on to the Detroit game. The thing about that game that I like the most about that football game is that Detroit really, they played for that. The fans were the biggest part of that game for me. That fan base is into it. That Campbell's got that. They have the thing with Detroit is that they basically, that Campbell went in there 3 years ago, whenever how long he's been there, and because that's a losing culture, it's a loser mentality with the fan base. On and on it goes. They've been a laughing stock forever. Detroit's going to Detroit, and on it goes, right? And that Campbell's went in there, and he's changed that fan base around. He's got people believing that they can actually win, and I actually do believe that they can win next week. Out of the 4 teams, are probably the less of the 4. They're probably the worst odds to win the Super Bowl right now that are left. But that Campbell has that team and that fan base believing that they can win. And Jared Goff has been, I don't want to say flawless because that's a pretty lofty term, but he's been fucking near flawless.
He's playing a hell of a thing. And,
he's not making mistakes. And that's huge.
He's not costing his team the games. He's actually going out there and winning the team games. And they have the pieces with Laporta, with that running with Gibbs, and who's that fucking Hawkinson? No. Anyways, they got 3 big money players, aside from Goff on the offensive side. More than
Brown
Campbell
from USC. Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, Amon St. Brown. That's the one I'm thinking about. shoot, where was I? So Campbell, not like he doesn't have the fans believing. He has the team believing. He has the team. He has that team. It reminds me a little bit of the St. Louis Blues. Everybody in that,
Good point.
Everybody in that locker room is playing for each other. They don't want to let each other down. And they understand that mistakes are going to happen because that's what sport is, and especially football. A block is going to get missed. You're gonna drop a ball. You're gonna fumble. But like everybody is there together for each other, pulling in the same direction, and they found something here, and I think they're playing above their heads right now. They got a break by being able to play Tampa, but they definitely
played the Rams and then played Tampa. Like those are, I'll flat out say they're bottom feeders that were NFL playoff teams.
Well, the Rams were hot coming in. The Rams were a better team than Tampa, and then same with Green Bay was hot.
Like I know your main man Baker Mayfield. Like he was pretty good yesterday, and like
he balled out. Yeah. It wasn't his fault that Tampa lost. Like Green Bay, Detroit was a better team. And good for them. Like it's nice to see the lovable loser finally do something about something.
No,
right?
I love it. That fan base was into it right off the get-go, and they're having a great time and everything else. Like, you watch some like NBC Detroit stations that are affiliates around here for some reason. I've never really understood that, but that's a thing that's been tickling my brain for 40 years. But no, man, like they're into it, and they're having a good time. And like once you get that fan base behind you, who like fan bases are fickle, and that's like when it's negative. Like for people to say that they don't like play, like players, athletes, to say they don't read the headlines, they don't listen to this, they're full of shit. People are curious, right? And this Detroit Lions team and their fan base have a belief in themselves, and that's the thing. You can't coach against that. When a team has something going on, some karma, some crazy thing, you can't make a game plan for that when they're just that there's a will and a try and an effort that isn't usually there. That's tough to game plan against. Yeah, you X's and O's and tic-tac-toes and all that stuff. You can play. Yeah, this guy might be better than that guy, but sometimes that helps a lot. Like you said with St. Louis Blues, they weren't the best team in National Hockey League by any means that year. They ended up winning Stanley Cup.
They just ended up playing the best, right? And we talk about it all the time, like the mojo of a team, and you can't sign cohesion, you can't sign camaraderie, you can't sign locker room, right? You can't add that in free agency, but it has to come. It has to come from the top and a couple players, and that's what Detroit has, and it's a fun how can you cheer against Detroit even if you don't like them?
I would say right now the middle North America. I don't want and not coast because you have San Francisco's on the coast, and you have Kansas City's middle America, but everybody's seen them win, so they're gonna ask, can we get somebody else? Baltimore's never been a sexy pick. They just haven't, like, really, when it comes down to it.
This Detroit San Fran game is going to pull huge numbers.
This Detroit team, I would put money on it that if you're an NFL fan and your team is out of it, which there's 28 of them that aren't in it anymore. There's a great big number of people that are cheering for the Detroit Lions right now. Huge numbers.
For sure. If Detroit doesn't if you're not pulling for Detroit, the terrorists win. Like, it's one of those kind of thing. Like, why wouldn't you? It's just
I am. Like, I'm not going to go buy a jersey or anything, but it's.
But yeah, unless you're a dyed-in-the-wool San Fran, every football fan, it'd be kind of cool to see Detroit make the big game. It'd be kind of
to
cool
win the big thing.
I don't want him to win.
Why?
I'd rather Lamar Jackson won it than
He'll
Detroit.
get one.
Well, you say that like they said that to Dan Marino when he went to the Super Bowl in his second year in the league.
They said that to Elway until they sacked his team to finally fucking get one.
He won fucking 2, so stop it on that
They
one.
stacked it so he could finally get one. So then the second one fell in his lap. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
Let's move on to the big one, the big game last night. That was I was on I've never listened to a football game on the radio, and I caught up on the highlights today and everything else. So don't fucking at me and all that bullshit. But I listened to the game on the radio, and the enthusiasm that they had on the radio, and the game sounded like it. And there's something about listening, like when you have to turn off one of your senses, right? The visual senses. And I listen to a lot of baseball games. I liked it. Like the enthusiasm and the build up that the announcers have. And you don't have, Dave, you don't have the noise and the ads that are happening when you watch a game. Yes, I'd rather watch a game on TV 100%. But I wasn't disappointed with the broadcast I listened to on the radio last night driving to Calgary. Like, it was fantastic because, like I said, the build up, the play, they're on the outside, they were talking, and it wasn't all the hoo-ha. You know what I mean? Like, it was just the game. And it was a fantastic listen. I got more out of that game by listening to it than I would have watching it. Because if I'm watching it, I have 1,000 other things going on too. Yeah,
you're right. You know, and I've done it as well. Like, when I find listening to sports best when I'm driving, because then you're focused on it. Like, if you're doing it while you're doing chores or what have you, and you just have it in your ears, it's nice and you're listening, but you're not concentrating. But when you're driving, like when you got highway driving, like you a 2-hour drive, it's fucking perfect.
No, it was fantastic.
You can put yourself there, and you can hear the crowd. Was it a Buffalo feed or a KC feed, or was it a neutral, like Chorus Radio Network?
It was Westward One neutral feed.
Okay. On
the NFL Network on Sirius.
Who was calling it? Was Boomer Esiason on that one?
No, I can't remember.
I hope not. I fucking hate that guy.
No, it wasn't Boomer.
I digress. But nonetheless, that was a game. It was an entertaining game, and I did see on the Twitter machine that some Bills fans are crying about the refereeing for this and that. To every Bills fan that wants to blame this game on the referee, shut the fuck up. Shut up. The Bills, it was there for them. KC was saying, here's your chance. Beat us.
Twice.
Josh Allen said, no, I don't want to beat you. Stephon Diggs said, no, I don't want to beat you. And Lance Bass says, I don't want to beat you.
Lance Bass.
The coach. The coach McDermott didn't want to beat him. Like, you didn't want to beat him. And you got the break of all breaks with that. I don't know who the back was. It wasn't Pacheco.
When they tried that fake punt and that didn't go very well. That went for shit. And so they gave Kansas City the ball at the 30-yard line, wherever it was. And Kansas City fumbled through the end zone to get a touchback, and they got the ball back. That was their chance. And then
God said, here you go.
Here you go. Here's your chance to finally beat them. You're not going to lose your third consecutive time in the playoffs to the Kansas City Chiefs, and you're not going to send the Chiefs to the AFC Championship for the 6th consecutive time. This is your chance. Here you go. And then at a 2-minute warning, they could have done something different than they did, and they didn't.
Yeah,
they went for it. They could have ran the ball, got it closer for, like you said, Lance Bass to kick a field goal, and Lance Bass. But the thing about that, Dave, we'll get into. I want to get to talk about this field goal thing for half a second. Even if fucking Lance Bass kicks that field goal, does anyone in America think that fucking Patrick Mahomes ain't running that or getting the ball down the field for a game-winning field goal?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, 35 seconds, they would have figured it out.
They had a minute 40. A minute 40 left.
And that's on Josh Allen. Like, I don't know the play calling. Like, when they got there to whatever it was, the 30-yard line, twice he had guys crossing over the middle for a first down. And he wanted to play hero ball. Josh Allen played a perfect game until that last drive. And I've said it before, I've said it all season, as long as he's not playing hero ball, he's awesome. He's one of the best in the world. that last fucking drive, he went hero ball, and why he knows better. You throw that touchdown.
Obviously, he doesn't. No, I don't think he does, Dave. I don't think he does. I don't. I think he's a fucking idiot.
Well,
I think he's an egotistical fucking idiot.
Because exactly what you just said. Why wouldn't you take that first down and get in the red zones, reset, and then you have downs, like you're there. You can score anytime, not anytime you want, but you know what I mean. The end zone is right fucking there. Bleed clock. Because they would have gone up by 4, and then I don't care. You give Pat Mahomes 30 seconds and 80 yards to go.
It happened 2 years ago.
It happened. It's like he's that fucking good.
Mahomes with 35 seconds last year.
And the Bills.
Nobody in North America thinks that Mahomes doesn't win that game with a field goal yesterday, even if Lance Bass misses that field goal.
Yeah, no one would have been shocked. Nobody would people would have been shocked if Casey didn't.
People would have been like, "Yeah, Buffalo should have scored a touchdown there because we knew Mahomes."
Because fucking Mahomes needs 12 seconds to.
And what's funny, yards. Like the YouTube clip that's pinned to our YouTube channel there. We were talking way back in fucking August, I think it was, with the one that's on there about quarterbacks wanting more money than Mahomes. There's still nobody better.
No.
Yes. Lamar might have a chance, but right now, Mahomes just went, all right.
Well, and that was a total Ric Flair game. You want to beat a man?
You got to beat the man.
You got to beat the man.
And you still haven't.
And you can't. You fucking can't. It was there for you on a fucking platter. And then Josh didn't want to do it. Stephon Diggs didn't want to do it. And Lance Bass couldn't do it.
That's it's crazy. And the thing to think about is that Travis Kelce, he's getting up there. He's 34, 35 years old, and he might be on his way out and everything else. But he got 2 touchdowns yesterday, right?
Yeah, and he was open all fucking day.
And he was
best tight end and playoff tight end in history, and you're not covering that motherfucker.
Like how? There's more people on the planet who know who Travis Kelce is right now because of his association with Taylor Swift than any other football player on the planet. It's true. Think about that. There's more people who know who Travis Kelce is. How he's that wide open. How the Buffalo Bills didn't fucking say, hey, that's Travis Kelce. Because they all follow Taylor Swift, for fuck's sake.
Touchdown,
that's Swifty's boyfriend. We should go follow him.
He was so wide open. The best set of hands was there was no one that first touchdown. There was no one within 15 fucking yards. I don't get it, and so let's throw some shade at the defense too. How do you let the best playoff tight end him and Gronk, take your pick? I'm not here to get pissed on here.
Whatever.
Patrick Mahomes' favorite, most trustworthy target has no one around for 15 fucking yards for a 35-yard touchdown. Don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. Buffalo, you're not up to the task. And, I was kind of cheering for you. I did think Kansas City was going to win. But I don't know what you do, because you know what? Fucking Joe Cool's back next year. Fucking Lamar and who knows, the AFC is fucking loaded fucking loaded at the top.
And you've been for 3 years now. You've been pumped to do it, and you haven't. And Buffalo hasn't done it. And the thing is, wide right again. The guy should have missed left. At least he could have been on his own.
That was an odd kick off his foot. It looked fine, but it
instantly that thing was gone. He knew he was gone. It's
once it cleared the line, it was there. Then it just
you're on the first tee box of the Fort McLeod Golf and Country Club, and you fucking swing. You know that thing was heading towards the fucking ninth fairway.
Oh God, yeah. I would have preferred he hit the upright or something, but he missed that by a fucking mile.
Wide right might be the 2 dirtiest words in Buffalo. Because that would have been on the paper this morning if there is a paper anymore. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's
yes. Well, and then that Scott Norwood one, from back in the day, that was on him. This one, I think we got to share the blame. You got to share
Allen
the blame.
was good. He got 2 touchdowns. Brad rushed.
He
for
was
80 yards,
awesome.
was.
He played
but
almost
until that last
game until that last drive.
That last drive.
Yeah.
And like you said, the football god said, here it is. We are going to make sure that the Kansas City Chiefs and the Swifties and the Kelseys and blah 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 aren't playing 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now on CBS.
It's up to you.
And they just said, yeah, you know what? I'd rather be at home. Honestly,
it was mind numbing to me on that last drive. Before the missed field goal, two downs in a row. He had guys wide open for first downs at the 20-yard line, wide fucking open, and he took shots in the end zone. And that's just and I don't get it.
We talk about it a lot, Dave, how sometimes you just go, what the fuck? There's with baseball, I talk about all the time, kids just don't know how to play baseball anymore. Is it getting to the point now where kids don't know how to play football? You're why wouldn't you run the ball, get advanced, run the clock down, give yourself a chance to get point? It's odd to me.
It is odd to me. You would think those talks would have been happening before the drive and what have you. And they got mics in their goddamn ears, the quarterbacks. Okay, we don't need it all. We're not going for it all. Let's just get another first down. Let's score. Let's get as close as we can and leave Pat Mahomes with as little time as we can. And when I say little time as we can, we're talking 10 seconds.
2 plays.
That's it.
And they had timeouts to do it too.
Yeah, he's just too fucking dangerous. Just get that first down. And then Josh Allen decided to play hero ball. I don't it's just I don't know. It's
maybe the thing is, Dave, maybe he's just fucking stupid.
I don't know. Under pressure he is. He made bad decisions under pressure. He didn't throw the pick. He didn't fumble the ball. He didn't run when he wasn't supposed to. He just wanted to play hero ball and throw for it. I would have preferred he fucking ran because he has a 50-50 chance of a first down. For the whole
he's 6'5", 250, right? So he'll run through anybody.
Yeah, with wheels. And I was rooting for Buffalo here. I wanted Buffalo to win. I didn't think they would, and they didn't for the exact reasons. I actually thought Josh was going to throw a pick or two, but no, he was there that whole game until that last drive. He made some bad decisions, and his life jacket was the kicker, but that's what happens sometimes.
Yeah, when I was driving up last night, I thought that after Detroit won, I was saying, you know what? There's a really good chance there'll be old this some old gritty towns with Baltimore. Not that Kansas City's not that Baltimore's not, but some old.
Baltimore and Detroit are gritty towns.
Yeah, but I thought you might get a Detroit Buffalo Super Bowl. That would be great. And now only one of them's left, right?
Yeah,
crazy. It's crazy.
It is crazy, but it's why they play the games. And
Dave, 4 teams left. One of them is, I think, I would like we said earlier on, I would like to see Detroit win something, but they are the redheaded stepchild of the 4. In my opinion, they played the 2 teams that aren't very good, and now they're going to the NFC Championship game. What kind of puncher's chance do you give the Detroit Lions?
I looked up the spread there before we. Detroit's favored by is a 7-point underdog. I think they cover. They're playing so hard with so much emotion and playing for each other. If I would to put some dineros on this one, I would definitely put Detroit to cover. To win, I don't know. San Fran and the announcers, I forget if that was an NBC game and they were talking about San Fran, this team. That was a Shanahan coach team. That was their first comeback from 5 points or more in forever. Like they were 0-30. That was their first win, 5 points down or more in the fourth quarter. So that kind of blew me away. And then they talked about it a bit, saying that San Fran is a team that's built to score early and often and play with a lead. They're not built to come back, which I don't really kind of fucking understand because
I don't understand that logic, but whatever.
No, that's a weakness in coaching.
Like hockey, that makes sense. Football doesn't.
No, football it doesn't. It's so if Detroit can somehow
like saying in a baseball game, yeah, we hit home runs in the first 2 innings. After that, we're fucked.
After that, if we're down 5-0,
just throw sliders, we're done.
Yeah, and we'll just wave at stuff and sit down. Like I don't get it, but nonetheless, if Detroit can get a second half lead, like so, keep it close in the first. If they can get to if Detroit is within 5 at the beginning of fourth quarter, like I think Detroit wins.
I think Detroit wins this game outright. Fuck the spread, fuck it all, because at this point of the season, who cares, right? I think Detroit wins this game, and I think they win it by about 10, like in a 24-14 kind of a deal. I think I'm not saying Super Bowl, but I think the state of Michigan has got something going on there with your Michigan State Wolverines, Detroit Lions, on it goes. I think they're onto something, man. Like that Detroit team is very comparable right now, like you said earlier on, to that St. Louis Blues team. Like I really do. Like I'm cheering for them, and I'm a quasi Niners guy.
Maybe all that Flint water gave them superpowers.
Well, that doesn't. I was going to say it doesn't hurt, but apparently it does.
It does hurt, but no, I hear you. Like there's some mojo going on in that town right now, and the teams playing for each other. I don't want to pick against them because I've been picked in Baltimore and San Fran since whatever week 4 or 5. So yeah. I can't do go against that now. But if I am going to be proven wrong, I wouldn't mind the Detroit Lions doing it to me this year.
The game Sunday night that they're going to put that for the late one is Kansas City and Baltimore. We haven't talked about Baltimore a whole bunch tonight because Baltimore just Baltimore and they beat the fuck out of Houston. I tell you what, you'd have to be a fucking idiot, an idiot, to put $3 against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Because
beat the man, right?
As much as like the MVP is going to be Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens, but you'd have to be an absolute fucking moron to bet the house against Kansas City.
Right? Really. The last 6 years, the only one to do it has been Joe Burrow. Right? Kansas City's been to 4 Super Bowls and lost 2. Right? They lost to Philly. No. Oh, no, they didn't go to 4 Super Bowls. Yeah, they went to 4. Well, since he beat them that one year, Brady beat KC. KC only has 2 Super Bowls. Did they lose the first one? Why am I having problems remembering that?
I don't know.
Neither am I. But nonetheless, like KC's a wagon, and they know how to win in the playoffs. And Baltimore better bring their A game. And I think Baltimore will. I think Baltimore has a chance of boat racing them. I honestly believe that. I don't think it's going to happen, but it might happen. Baltimore will boat race KC before KC boat races Baltimore.
The only way I see that happening is if the Kansas City Chiefs miss their flight.
No, I don't think so. The cold, the weather.
Like
that's not going to make a difference.
I kind of compare the Chiefs to the 80s Oilers, right? They had the best player in the game. They have a good supporting cast. They've already won a couple. Yeah, then you lose one. Then you go back and win a couple more because that's what the Oilers did. I see that, and then they have the celebrity come in with Janet Jones and Gretzky. The celebrity come in with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I see this the same thing. I think the Kansas City Chiefs it's just one of those things that they win themselves another one. And I would like to see somebody else win. I like seeing the wealth get spread around. I want to see Detroit win one, but I can't. You said it back in September, Dave. I don't see anybody like he's still the best player on the planet.
Yeah,
Mahomes.
He is the best, and they know how to win.
They know how to win, and that means so much.
It does.
Knowing how to win and knowing what you got to do on a nightly basis. That's a ton, man. It's because then not just next week, but then 2 weeks from now dealing with the media and Super Bowl and everything. It's a fucking lot. Or a World Series or a Stanley Cup or NBA Finals. Like there's a reason why teams like win a few because it's a lot.
Once you do it, once you do it once, then you know what it takes, and then just it's just the poise and the comfortableness with the situation, and Buffalo clearly didn't have that, and it was their turn, right? You know, like in basketball, the Bulls had to go through the Pistons had to go through the Celtics, like the Jays had to go through the Detroit Tigers back in the day,
yeah.
Right, like there's always a big brother, and if you can't take big brother down,
Red Sox, Yankees, and
the Red Sox, Yankees, Michigan and Ohio State, in college football, there's always like if you want to beat a man, you got to beat the man until you can. You haven't, and Buffalo ain't. They're just a pretender. They want to tell everybody how tough they are, but like I say, when it was time to fuck or walk. The Buffalo Bills decided to walk.
And blame the kicker all you want. Blame him all you want. Because he did miss that one. But I still don't think that anybody saw Mahomes in that last minute and a half.
Well, and I think there was an 85% chance if he would have thrown for the first down, that would have been a 30-yard field goal instead of 44. Right? Worst case scenario. With a fresh set of downs. And now 22 seconds on the clock.
Lance Bass, he missed that thing so much. He might as well just kick that thing backwards.
Yeah, like he was. It was the thing. He can't hit the water if he fell out of the boat. He missed the water.
Fuck! I remember years ago. This is a long. Jesus Christ, I'm old. But me and Luke went to a Grey Cup in Edmonton. There, fuck, it was cold. But the game was basically decided on a missed field goal because the guy just kicked it through the end zone. 1 point, good, done. We win. That's how the NFL should be too. Hey, just kick it as far as you can.
Well, the end zone's too small.
But you know what I mean? It's just funny, like the CFL compared to the NFL. Kick it right through, you get 1 point.
Buffalo would have lost by 2 as opposed to 3.
Yeah,
right.
But Canadians are nice that way, right? Missed field goal, you get a point anyways.
Here's maybe that's why this new generation's so soft. That's your original participation point.
Maybe Lance Bass is Canadian. Who knows?
Here's your ribbon.
Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talk and a whole lot more. This segment was brought to you by SeatGeek.com and the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase to go watch Lance Bass from NSYNC kick himself or try to kick field goals.
Well, maybe he could do better than Gronk. I see those Gronk commercials like, fuck, FanDuel. Why is there? I know why, but there's just so many goddamn betting ads on the games now. I don't like it. I don't like it.
No.
And fuck who? What? Let's take a break. I got pissed off at the announcing too this weekend. So
1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talk and a whole lot more.
Are you thinking of going to a game or a concert in the coming days ahead, or do you already have tickets and want to upgrade where you're sitting? It's simple. Go to SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. They have tickets for all sports going on right now, as well as concert tickets to shows throughout North America. And to make things even better, use promo code 1420POD, that's 1420POD, and receive $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's promo code 1420POD at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer sports talk and a whole lot more. This segment is brought to you by Righteous Felon Jerky. Go to righteousfelon.com and use promo code BELLYUP for 15% off. The best in craft jerky. By my friend over there at the Sports Stove Podcast. Sorry, Vince. He swears by it. It's the best beef jerky on the market out there. So go over to righteousfelonjerky.com and get yourself some beef jerky today. Dave,
I'm on the site as we speak. I'm going down to Montana this week. I'm gonna fucking use a promo code, and I'll let you folks know next Monday. But
there you go. The Edmonton Oilers have won 13 games in a row. They've obviously climbed out of the depths of despair. They got themselves into that horrific start, 2-8 to start the season off. They'll be a top 2, top 3 team in the National Hockey League in the Western Conference. When it's all said and done after the coaching change, I don't know if that had a whole bunch to do with it, but today they made the big splash and they decided to go out and sign disgruntled or beleaguered. I don't know what the proper terminology is there to sign Corey Perry, who was released by the Chicago Blackhawks back in November for some indiscretions that happened that were unbeknownst to anybody else. No one knows but him and the team, which I think they should keep it that way. But Dave, I like the deal because I've always liked Corey Perry. We've talked about him for 2 or 3 years on our show now, but he's a gamer, he's a champion everywhere he's played, done all and everything. But the thing is, I personally would not make that signing until after they end their winning streak. I mean, they're not going to win another 30 games in a row. Sign Corey Perry after you lose, and then make the trade or the deal. Because what happens is if they lose their next game, I don't know who they're playing their next game. It's tomorrow night. But if they lose that game and Perry's on the roster, the clicks and the things and the stuff would be out of control.
That's an excellent point, Brent. Like my favorite movie of all time, Bull Durham, Crash Davis. You never fuck with the streak. If you think you're
good point.
If you think you're winning because you're getting laid, keep getting laid. If you think you're getting because you don't change your shoes, because you're wearing the same gaunch, because never fuck with a streak. The Oilers are on a heater, a historic heater.
Most in Oilers history, which is crazy to me, considering there was
most in Canadian hockey history, like
Canadian Gretzky and Curry and Messier and la.
And never mind all those Habs teams back in the day with Rocket. No Canadian team has won 13 games in a row until this year. I thought that I was surprised to hear that, and they're doing it, but they're now fucking with the streak. And so let's see what happens. And they're well, at least they got someone to blame now, right?
Like you put superstition aside, like Crash Davis was saying, don't change your underwear and everything else, and you want to keep banging girls. But the thing about this is that you bring Perry into the room, someone had to leave, right? So when the rumors came about, they were looking around. Well, it's not McDavid, it's not Draisaitl, it's not this guy.
Well, someone might be hurt too. We don't know that.
No, I actually do. Yeah. Like somebody's they're looking around the room like, okay, who's it going to be? And so these guys you've been in the trenches with for this stretch of it's a month without losing a hockey game, because that's impressive. All of a sudden, one of these guys you've been through trenches with or been your teammate, someone's leaving. And that can upset the herd as well. Like why he would make that, and we're just a couple of fucking schmucks who've accomplished nothing in the sports world whatsoever. But for Ken Holland, who's been a part of Stanley Cup champions in Detroit, why wouldn't he realize this? Like nobody else is banging down Corey Perry's fucking door. You wouldn't think.
Well, I heard last week that Corey Perry was coming to Edmonton.
Let me finish this off. Is that if Corey Perry's his best chance right now is to win with an Oilers team, he ain't signing anywhere else. He ain't going back to fucking Montreal or back to Anaheim. He's obviously not going back to Chicago. So he'll wait. He'll wait as long as you want him to wait.
Exactly. Like he's like, so A, he doesn't need the money. B, he doesn't have a ton of suitors. C, he's playing for league minimum. So what's 2-3 more games?
What's the rush?
Like, what is the rush? Like, well, I'm gonna go someplace else. Well, then fucking beat it.
All right.
You know, and at the beginning of that, don't know, don't care. Don't know. I do care. If a team is gonna just midnight move you, I want to know what fucking happened.
I do, but it's none of my business.
It is my business.
Well, you're
right?
You're not a season ticket holder or a ticket purchaser.
If you're doing something so detrimental to a team's chemistry or chances, a beleaguered team,
I'd like to know, because inquiring minds want to know.
Fucking rights, I want to know. And there has to be 2-3 reporters out there that do know, and they phone the Blackhawks or whoever for comment, and they say, you run with that, you're never stepping foot in the United Center.
Media credentials are no longer accepted here.
I can't believe I haven't pulled it by just you asking that question. But if one fucking word of that hits the print, you gone. Like, so it has to someone has to know somewhere.
Oh, 100%. I mean, like I've been not a part of the hockey world, but I know a lot of guys for a long time who've been part of the hockey world, and I've been privy, and you as well, Dave. Like you know guys in the ins and outs, and there's rumors that fly around that I know aren't rumors, that aren't rumors, not innuendo or anything else. We know the truth. And but who's gonna listen to us? And I'm not about to hear in the 14.
Well, and we're not here to break news either, because we can't.
Who the fuck are we? But there's stuff that you hear and that we know, right? And this is back before podcast time that we were hearing shit and knowing about stuff, right? So it's and like you said, somebody knows something about Corey Perry, and it's none of my business. Am I curious? 100%. 100%. But it's none of my business.
Well, maybe as a member of the media, it's kind of our business. We'll make some calls. I'll make some calls.
See if we can get some media credentials somehow.
We should go with our lanyard and our little barcode thing, our QR code.
There you go. I'll wear my heavyweight title belt to the fucking press box.
To the Hurricanes game.
Get the fuck out of here or whatever. No, it's crazy to think how that's all went through. And he said there was alcohol things and stuff going on today. He said that, and it's odd. It's odd. But Boo's been a part of the game for a long time. But like I said, I wouldn't screw with that winning streak for 1 second. Like for 1 second.
And even just let's pretend that they lost and they didn't try and jinx it like they're doing. Like they're essentially talking about the no-hitter, right?
Yeah.
To the pitcher. Like how much does he add? Right? Like is he worth more than league minimum? I understand attitude. I understand he's been there before. I understand he was a Hart Trophy winner. I understand he has a ring, but he only has one, right? Like he's everywhere he's gone chasing a cup. Like I kind of get it. I'd rather Jumbo Joe Thornton come pull that fucking guy, blow the dust off of that beard and bring him back than Corey Perry.
I think he brought more personally. I'm talking, of course, it's personally, Brent, you fucking idiot. I think he brought more for a young Connor Bedard in Chicago. Just with, this is how the game is played. This is all the shit that goes on. Obviously he did something wrong, so maybe I'm wrong on this, but this is how we did it. This is how things go. And then this is what you do on a daily basis in National Hockey League. I don't think he brings that that to the Oilers. I don't think he brings enough to them. It's not a bad sign. I don't think it puts them into a cup contention. It doesn't hurt, but I don't think he adds as much to Oilers as much as he did to the young Chicago Blackhawks. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, and that's yes, and that's my question, because this Oilers team it's cup or bust, and his skill set has clearly diminished, and the sandpaper, like what that he brings to the ice,
isn't part of the game anymore.
And he can't fight. Like, so is someone else going to have to start cleaning up his messes? Because someone's going to get pissed off. Like, if someone's not getting pissed off with Corey Perry's not doing what he's getting paid for. As simple as that. And now
maybe they can bring Zach Katz in out of retirement, bring him back too.
Oh, Jesus! Yeah, I don't know.
No, I just. Yeah,
it's a head scratch to me. I don't know how it really fits.
They're not a worse team, but they're not a better team.
They might be worse.
No, I read the guy's name who they gave up, and I was like, oh, whatever.
Oh, okay. And when you say gave up, you mean send down to the minors?
Yeah, because you have roster spots and everything else got to happen.
Free agent,
yeah. It's just you wonder about the timing of it, and that's my biggest thing. Like don't screw with the streak. Don't.
Yep.
Because usually when these streaks happen throughout sports, when you go on a 9, 10, 11 game heater, 13's unprecedented no matter what sport it is. Like, you usually have a downhill slope. Like, you don't lose one and then win another 13 or 14 in a row. Not many teams have done that. So,
no, but the Oilers, since that dreadful start, they're so good. And they had that dreadful start. They've had, I think, 2 or 3 7-game streaks since that awful start. And now this one, they're just obviously doing it better. And those fuckers, I just looked it up before we talked about it. I started talking. They are still, with a 7-game win streak a month ago, and now this 13-win game streak. There's still 13 points behind the Canucks.
That team, they're beating Chicago right now. That Canucks team, the Canucks team, that game on Saturday night, that was fantastic. How they the Leafs were out in Vancouver there, and it was a great hockey game. The Canucks scored early and often, little fall back in the second period, but man, oh man, Rick Tocchet, he's got I think those Canucks, they're scared shit. Their coach. I honestly believe that, because Tocchet, the Canucks had a 3-0 lead after the first. Toronto came back and scored 2 quick wins early in the second, and Tocchet called timeout, and he looked like he was ready to fucking chop someone's head off, like in the 1987 Canada Cup. He was so fucking mad. And I honestly, I think his fucking team is scared shitless of him. I believe that.
I wonder, because, when Bruce Boudreau got there and they went on a 10-game heater or whatever, they played so well, and they gave Boudreau a contract, a 2-year contract. Yeah. But then a month into the next season, it was like, fuck, this guy's just a teddy bear that yells. He just yells.
He yells at refs, not at us.
Yeah. He's just yelling. Whereas Tocchet is just exactly, I am yelling about this. This particular thing, and I'll yell at all you motherfuckers too, but you do it my way and we're gonna win. And I gotta guess Vancouver kind of likes winning because they're winning,
and they haven't done very much of it in their illustrious history.
And they have a goalie.
And they got a goalie. Yeah. The funny thing that you mentioned earlier on tonight, Dave, it was Hockey Day in Canada. And every fucking year, the people in Vancouver, or the media, not the Vancouver people, but they get pissed off because Toronto goes out there and they play at 5:00 Mountain Time, which is 4:00 Pacific, which screws up the TV. And why are we bending over for Toronto, the Leafs, to come out here? Well, I'll tell you what, because the Leafs are the biggest draw in Canada. That's why. To me, that is a perfect game time. 4:00 start on the West Coast. I got the game's over 6:30, 7:00. I can go home
on a Saturday.
Go out. Right? I can do whatever. It's not late. A 4:00 start West Coast time for a hockey game?
Oh, you bet, especially if you're living in the burbs, right? You can get on the transit.
Yeah.
Like at 9:00 in the morning, you're going to spend the day in the city with the wife and kids in downtown, do some shopping, whatever, and fucking just put it in whatever, figure it out.
Even if you're on Vancouver Island, you can fucking get back across, no problem.
Oh, you bet. Game's over at 8:00, and then like whatever, party, do whatever, but you got plenty of time. You're home in bed at midnight.
Perfect.
That is perfect, right?
No,
it's
the
not
4:00 start is just deadly.
On a weekend. I dig it. Anything after, like I like, like for football on the Sundays, I love the Mountain Standards. First game at 11, second game at 2:30, and then you got the games. That is just fucking perfect for a weekend because I'm not going to the games, and I can get enough shit done at 11, and I can figure it out. Right?
Baseball season, Yankee games in the weekend start at 11 in the morning. Perfect.
I mean, you're done and you're either mad or happy, and you can go on about your day.
Yeah, do whatever I got to do. Game's done sometimes game starts 11, sometimes done by 12. Got to turn it off that quick. Did you see, speaking of the Yankees, and who wasn't, did you see Aroldis Chapman? He even fallen from grace even more.
No, I haven't.
He signed today with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, fuck.
He
don't give a fuck. I hate that guy. I've hated him forever. It sickens me that he has a World Series ring.
With the Cubs even, right?
Yeah, after he gave up
the Cubs should be one of those. Like the Cubs are kind of like what we hope that I hope the Detroit Lions are. Right, like one of those teams that forever had never won fuck all. So, and for Aroldis Chapman to be part of that Cubs 2016 team, it doesn't put a damper on it, but it's like of all the guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of deserving characters on that Chicago team, but Aroldis Chapman is not one of them.
No,
because he wasn't even effective, right? Like he blew the save in Game 7. I think he got the win, but he blew the save.
Blew that save. Rajai Davis hit that 2-run home run in the bottom of the ninth.
And I'll never forget that there was 2 Cubby fans on like an overhanging deck, and the one guy put his head in his hand and it went. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I thought that fucker was going to have a heart attack right on.
One of the best World Series I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was a hell of a Game 7. It was
unbelievable.
Yeah. Too bad for the Indians on that one.
Because they were still the Indians. They weren't even the Guardians yet.
No, yeah, they were the Indians. I bought a hat. It's pristine. Like the hat, I've only worn it out once. I don't know if I'm ever going to wear it. Maybe
a Guardians hat or a...
No, an Indians hat with Chief Wahoo.
Chief Wahoo. Chief Wahoo was on the logo for the Kainai Braves in the Ranchland Hockey League. And he had a hockey stick in his yap, chewing a hockey stick in half. Chief Wahoo. Yeah.
With the red face, big grinning with
the whole thing. Yeah. That was the in all the barns I played in over my illustrious hockey career, the Kainai Sports Center was by far the roughest fucking barn in any league across this great land of ours.
That was an intimidating barn.
She was intimidating. Yeah, she was intimidating. It was an interesting night here and there at the Kainai Sports and Leisure Center.
That's when you were playing with the Mustangs?
I was a Claresholm Thunder and a Fort McLeod Mustang in that barn a couple of times. Yeah, it was different. Dave, we've been mixing things up a little bit here and there with the who would you rather and who is better. But Monday nights, I think from here on in, are going to be who or would you rather. Sorry, what do you got for me tonight?
Well, this one's a bit of a leftover, and I'm sorry because I'm gonna take some blame myself and not,
the program
not
gets
get in touch with you. Well, we're not perfect. We're just here to help. This would you rather is it's a coaching question. Excuse me. Would you rather take over the reins from recently retired coaches, would you rather coach at Alabama next year? Or would you rather coach at New England next year?
Ooh, New England. I'll tell you what. I would rather coach New England for the simple fact is you're going to have a lot of kids who bowed down to Coach Saban, going to their house. They were out through the United States and saying, "Yeah, I'm here for your kid. I'm here for you. You come to Alabama. We'll get you this. We'll get you that." And Saban retired. And he didn't lie. Something might have happened where Saban just basically went, "You know what? I'm done." All the stories that all the tales, because he thousands throughout his career, he went to a lot of living rooms with parents right across the United States, right? And eventually he just, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. But on that note, you're gonna have a lot of kids who are gonna feel a bit jaded that that Saban didn't stick around for when they were there, right? And so that's one of those things. Whereas Belichick, they've already been shitty, right? And it's all right. I'm getting a paycheck, and so now the new guys can build something. The new guys can build something of their own, whether it be the coaching staff, the new players, whatever it might be. And that's something you can kind of put a crutch on. You can put up on the walls. Yeah, this is our team. This is our town. Whatever you want to be, whatever the slogan might be. Alabama's not going to have a hard time, but you're going to see some kids not go there as much, because you and Aaron talked about last week here on the 1420 Sports Bar podcast that Saban had the pick of the litter, right? He did. And he got to say whatever he wanted to, and he got guys to come there, and it's going to be tougher because he was a great coach. And I saw that the new coach, the guy from Washington, his name escapes me. He brought in some of his own guys from Washington. So there's a lot of shit happening in Alabama that's different. And I don't know if it's gonna run very well.
No, you're completely right on the way you described that, because New England sucks since Brady left, right? They had a little blip, but now like they're just on a steady decline. And now, so you're leaving with your feet in shit. Saban's not leaving with his feet in shit. Like, the worst he ever does is fourth place, which is ridiculous. Those shoes are so huge to fill.
Yeah.
Right. You can't fill it. You cannot replicate. It's impossible to replicate Belichick's success. It's impossible to fill Saban's success. It's impossible. But you're feeling there's been no more than a 3-year gap in Saban's success. And so and especially that college atmosphere and all the boosters in the state, like Saban can just
now the transfer portal and guys going. It's going to be like college football so different.
It's going to be so different. And then on that note too, I read this article.
I don't like it.
The same agent.
I'm not saying I'm right, but I don't like it.
I just don't know. But like as far as all that hiring and how quickly it happened. The same agent that represents Saban represents that dude from Washington. Like, it's almost like it was
handpicked,
right, by the agent. And I don't know
Nicky
that.
Saban say, "I'm retiring. That guy's here. Give me $10,000."
For sure,
not
he told
$10,000, but you
$10,000.
know what I mean.
$10,000. He that's once again
now
Saban has that in the account
as a down payment.
Right. You know, it's
for
so
1%.
weird. So, because Saban obviously told his agent before he told Alabama, and then his agent probably said, "Okay, give me a week here, and I'm going to line up. Who do you like? And because this agent has more than that Washington guy. He has a couple guys in his thing, and so once again, I don't know, but that position got filled pretty fucking quick. It's not a thorough and exhaustive search.
Like, to me, like if I was an outside, like I'm on the outside, but if I was an idiot, I'm like, well, yeah, of course it got filled quick. It's Alabama, man. There's boosters you got to go through. There's this you got to go through. There's fucking all of it. Like that job should not have been filled that quick. Not even close. And then to have the other positions filled in, other guys getting let go, and then this guy. It's Alabama, man.
Yeah, and I don't know this.
You're not replacing that coaching staff in 5 days. You're not.
This cat that's coaching in Washington that got the job, I don't know where his heritage and roots are, but I couldn't imagine being a Yankee going down to coach in the South. I really couldn't, because you would know what it's about, but you wouldn't know what it's about. Whereas we're saving this, right?
There is the culture and the things too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and we're not against either or. Let's not. We're not.
But it is what it is. Like,
it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's no question about that. So, it's not my money I'm spending, but I would be fucking terrified of going in and coaching at Alabama with the legacy that Nick Saban left behind. Because there was fans calling for Saban's head 3-4 years ago when they had the audacity to not win the national championship.
When they went 11-2.
Yeah.
And lost by 1 to LSU or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and like you don't have a long leash. It reminds me of that basketball coach at Gonzaga. I believe his name is Mark Few.
Mark Few, yeah.
Yeah. And the big programs have been trying to drag him out of Spokane, Washington for 10 years now.
Gonzaga has been licking the jar for 30 fucking years.
They need a title, eh? Ever since John Stockton.
No, Kate, I remember I dated that girl from Spokane, 1999.
Adam Morrison.
And that's the first year they went down there, right? They went to the Sweet 16. Whatever
that wasn't with Mark Few though, but carry on.
But Gonzaga has been licking the jar forever.
Yeah.
Forever. And I remember going down to Spokane to visit Christy, and fucking the Spokane, the Gonzaga games were everything. Like, holy Christ. And they weren't, and then they moved games to the arena, the Spokane arena, because like they couldn't, it was huge. And they've never won a fucking thing.
They got
to the finals once.
Yeah, not too long ago, because
your wife's a proud graduate of the Gonzaga University, is she not?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've been on Gonzaga campus 3-4 times. My wife got her master's of education through Gonzaga. So we went to her graduation, and it was in the basketball building. Like, it's as big as NMAX Center here. Like, it's big, and it's nice, and it's a beautiful old campus. It's quaint. It's not overly huge. The campus is what I'm saying. But I will say this: their sports facilities are fucking mint, pristine, nice.
It's funny what the and it's everywhere. Like, there's hockey teams in Canada that money goes to. It's just funny where the donors decide where money's going. Like, it's not a secret. It's not a surprise. We're not fucking uncovering something here. 2020 and this bullshit here in fucking 1420. It's humorous.
It's hilarious because in the past 2 years I've been in the University of Lethbridge bookstore, buying souvenirs for people, and then the last time where KV Jasper and I went to the Gorge, we spent the night in Spokane to break the trip up and went to the Gonzaga bookstore. That Gonzaga bookstore is bigger than a fucking Chapters. And, you can buy a polo shirt for $25, or you can buy a polo shirt for $225, right? Like, they have some pretty minty stuff there. And I imagine that obviously that's every bookstore, but holy fuck, they have some nice shit in that bookstore.
The USD bookstore, I've been privy to that place a few times. Holy Christ, man. Like, they got everything in there. It's unbelievable.
I love going to university bookstores. It's one of my favorite. I won't say one of my favorites, but like, yeah, I dig it.
It's funny.
It's so different than the old University of Lethbridge here.
It's a lot different than Medicine Hat College's bookstore. Just don't get around that. Yeah.
I've never been to that one. I've been to Medicine. I was in Medicine Hat on Friday, and I forgot to go to the Rattler.
How was the hat? Good.
Quick, in and out. It was the best trip ever.
That's the
hour
best
and
way
a
to
half
go.
there, 20 minutes at a house, hour and a half home.
That's the best way to go about the hat.
Slam, bam, thank you, ma'am.
In, out, thanks, bye, see you later.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. Dave, no fun show tonight. We didn't cause any problems tonight for once, I don't think.
Well, I don't think so either. Well, aside from the fact we want to know what the fuck Corey did to get run out of Chicago, because there was some pretty bad shit that happened in that town back in the day. There's some pretty bad shit that's happening in that town as we speak, I'm assuming. The fuck do you do, Corey Perry?
I think I have an idea just from some people I've talked to, but I don't want to. We won't put it on the air.
Okay. Off the record. OTR. And thank you, Righteous Brothers, for the sponsor. I'm going to order. Oh, fuck. You guys better take my Canadian credit card because I'm going to send this to my Montana house.
They will, but they will not deliver to Canada.
Okay. I want it delivered to my Montana house because I'm going to be there on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I want to ski, and then I want to enjoy some tasty jerky.
Go to righteousfelon.com and get the best in craft beef jerky today over there at righteousfelon.com and save yourself 15% at the best at righteousfelon.com by using promo code belly up over there and get Dave's going to be his new favorite beef jerky.
DM me. We got to order tomorrow if it's going to be there. I don't know what their delivery times are, but DM
overnight.
me, Venmo me. We'll figure it out.
Anyways, the 14.
Well, I'm not buying everybody jerky. Fuck, that shit gets expensive.
I don't think it's jerky in general is expensive.
Oh yeah. Oh,
like you get a pouch at the gas station. It's fucking $12-13.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
There's the one I like, the Montreal steak or Montreal steak spice. It's really good.
I won a package of jerky at Curling last week, but it was from the meat box. Like, so it was craft jerky as well.
That guy's my favorite.
Really good.
I like him.
Meat box is tasty meat. Okay.
Here's the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. Take care of each other. More importantly, take care of yourself. So you be around. Should we stick on the ice? And what else, Dave?
I don't want to see Jim swinging high pitches.
Have a good night, folks. We'll talk to you Thursday.
Go Lions! Go Lions! I still want San Fran to win just so I'm not a liar, but I won't be mad if the Lions win. Have a good night, everybody.